I'm going to compare a couple of these pop-up macro photography diffusers. They both have the twist and fold up to a pack type setup to them. One's by Angler, which is one of the original brands that came out with this, and then there's a lot of generic ones that have basically popped up out of China. They have two different type of patterns to them. The basic generic ones usually just have a simple hole to it that you place over the lens, and then the Anglers, that brand has elastic hole in it. That this one will stretch actually slightly larger than the other. They both do the same diffusion, but with this one it'll sort of grab around the lens and hold it and keep it from tilting back and forth when you have it on the camera. So one may be better for you than another depending on the lens type you use. I've got a couple of lenses. I use a Panasonic G9, and I've got this little diffuser on there that I use a lot, but with it, if you remove it, the generic diffuser will just sort of slip onto the lens, and then it blocks the light. So if I'm wanting to take a photo of one of these figures here, this will diffuse the light well, but you sort of have to hold it in hand to keep it from moving around a little bit. Whereas the other diffuser, it'll slip onto the lens. Sometimes it takes two hands here, but sort of stretches over the lens, and then it grabs around and holds on to the lens, so you can put it close, and the closer you get to it, the hotter it'll be on certain parts of whatever you're taking a photo of. So it'll sometimes can leave a little bit of a hot spot, so you want to pull it a little further down on the lens like this, get it a little further away, and that tends to distribute the light better on it. It won't be a hot spot. It'll tend to diffuse the light even better and make for a little bit better photo. But on a smaller lens camera like this G9, the Panasonics, the Lumix, or any of the Olympus Micro Four Thirds cameras, this works really good, holds well. But like I said, this other diffuser, the hole's really large in it, and they tend to just flop around and dangle, and you have to hold it with one hand on here and take the photo together. And if you're trying to hold an item like one of these figures or something in hand to get close to it, it makes it hard to do everything. You just don't have enough hands to control it. But if you're using more of an old school, like a full frame or a crop sensor camera, the lenses tend to be bigger. So like this Nikon, it's a 7100. It's an APS-C camera, and it has bigger lenses with it, bigger flashes. So sometimes something like this will work on it, stays tight, and it doesn't move around, and it's easier to get on and off a bigger lens than the ones with the actual band in here that tightens around the lens even tighter. So something like this works pretty good, but you also have trouble if you're using bigger lenses, even on full frame cameras, or say this with Micro Four Thirds, this 40 to 150 Pro f2.8 lens. It has pretty good magnification to it, and you can zoom in with the lens and also use a teleconverter to get even better macro with it. But when you're using one of these diffusers on a lens like this, they just don't fit. It doesn't stretch big enough for it. So before you start out, you want to put the diffuser on the lens and then mount it onto the camera. Even the one like this will go on there, and it holds well with it. So for me, pretty much the Angler version, if you can find them, They're a little harder to find. With any of the ones you can find that'll have this elastic hole on it, is going to hold better and make it easier for you to try to keep up with small bugs and things like that, and not have to use both hands to hold a diffuser and work with the camera. For me, it's worth trying to find a little bit better one like this. You may have to pay a little bit more money for them, but it's usually worth looking around for it. The only upside that I've found at all to these generic ones that you find on Amazon, sometimes the cases are a little bit better, which is sort of odd. This is just a really cheap nylon material to it, whereas even though this is a cheap material, it has sort of a ripstop nylon type built into it, so if you get a little bit of a tear in it, it won't completely split all the way open as fast as something like this. But you're really worrying about the diffuser more than you are anything. So if you can find the Angler brand, that's one to look for. They're usually pretty close in price. Sometimes B&H has them on sale if you can find it, but if not, you're going to be stuck with one of these. But for the money, Angler's sort of hard to beat. So I'll have links to both the items in the description below. If you like the video, please like and subscribe, and I'll try to put up some more macro diffuser options like these small ones, which this one's actually still my favorite for a small one. And some of the newer hard shell ones that you carry around, they give you a little bit better diffusion. But anyway, just please like and subscribe, and I'll try to put up some more material. Thanks.